It's a rainy Saturday here in Bangkok, and I just wanted to debrief you boys on the craziest night of my life. It was actually mad. I had so many epiphanovas that I kind of lost count of them. And yeah, hopefully you're able to stick around for this one. Try to find a good place to sit. Maybe I'll say yeah. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, I hope you stick around for the entirety of this live stream because I'm just going to drop some absolute gems, unfiltered, unscripted, with the aim of just turning you boys into absolute weapons, absolute savages who can go out, dominate the world, get what they want, rather than settling for what they think they can get, have this obsession with progression, understand the way you start is not the way that you finish, and just become absolute Renaissance warriors. I think that sounds cool. So yeah, listen to this and then you'll become an absolute weapon who can just achieve everything that he wants. Where to start? I honestly feel as though I experienced God yesterday. I feel as though I've experienced God on a few occasions, but I feel as though I actually properly experienced God yesterday. I feel as though I experienced God through a woman. I also experienced God through the realms of psychedelics. I wanna kind of break down what I learned, and then I think this is gonna really help anybody who's looking to become just an absolute monster in the bedroom. Just become a woman's ultimate fantasy. Get to a place in your life where you actually feel whole and you're operating from that place of wholeness rather than from that place of lack. Being able to embrace your own mortality, recognize that there's so much shit in this universe that we can't even possibly comprehend. I'll try and make it as practical as possible. So, yeah, I had a crazy night yesterday with my girlfriend out here in Bangkok. So we enjoyed a psychedelic experience together, and I went through like all of the different processes like of life, and I came out the other end today, and I feel like a completely different person. Like it's mad. So anyway, at one point last night, like I genuinely thought I was gonna die. Like my heart was beating so fast. At one point, we were like, "Shit, I think I might need to go to a hospital." At one point, we actually jumped in a taxi because I thought I needed to go to a hospital. And I got in a taxi. I was like, "Nah, do you know what? I'm all right." So anyway, oh mate, it was mad. Like I'll show you like where I was sat. So I was in this room. It's really dark. I'll put the no, actually no, I won't put the light on. No, actually I'll put the light on. Yeah, so I was in this room and I was just sat here, and I genuinely felt as though it was like about to be game over for me. Like I was facing this wall. And I was like, whoa, imagine if this wall is like the final thing that I ever see. And my girlfriend was like massaging me, like just like taking great care of me. That was really amazing. And then I just went to this other world. I don't even know how else to describe it. Like I went from thinking that I was gonna die to then looking out on that landscape out there. And I just got this. I don't even like the best way that I can describe it is like, you know, when you're watching a film and the movie cuts to another scene, yeah, that literally happened to me yesterday. So I went from being on that bed, contemplating my own mortality, and I had this weird epiphanova. I was like, you're not gonna die because it's not your time yet, right? I was like, whoa, that's fucking crazy. It's like you've still got so much potential. You've still got so much to give to the world. It's not our time yet. Like God is just giving you this opportunity to remind you to keep being like on it, like keep having that obsession with progression. And then I found myself sat on this sofa. I was looking into my girlfriend's eyes, and then I just had this overwhelming sense of love and joy and peace for everything, especially her. And then we were just like going at it, and that was fucking nice. We're on the sofa. And then, like, went to the bedroom, and dude, like, this is actually the craziest thing. Like, I've never experienced this before, and I'm not trying to claim to be some fucking Lothario porn star in the bedroom. Like, dude, I used to be a porn addict. I used to have erectile dysfunction. I used to be that guy who was just desperate for anybody to like him. Like, it wasn't a case of, oh, I want you. It was like, I just want someone. So, like, I'm not trying to portray myself as one of those, like, fucking hyper masculine, giga role model, fucking whatever. But we went into the bedroom, and I experienced something that I've never experienced in my life, and I never even thought it was possible. my girlfriend has never experienced anything like that either. And like, I just can't, like, I can't even see the world in the same way anymore. Right. So like, we're on the bed together and I just start whispering into my girlfriend's ear. Right. So I just start whispering some naughty expostulations into her ear. And like, there was just like this like desire in me to just like keep doing it, like just keep speaking, like, you know, talking to her like dirty in her ear. And like this went on for about like 3 or 4 minutes. And then all of a sudden she orgasms. Right? She just has this like full body shaking orgasm, and I can feel like her entire body just like shaking and pulsating. I can feel like all of this like energy being released from her. And we were just like, what the fuck just happened there? Like, I made her orgasm purely from my voice. Like, there was like no touching in like those areas. Like, it was just like I was just like lying on top of her, and then just like whispering into her ear, and she just had this full body orgasm purely from voice, purely from. I think it's got to do with like the connection that we've both got. Like when I used to be battling with, I think, a man's worst nightmare, erectile dysfunction, like bringing girls back to my place in Leeds, and like, you know, the fucking Johnson's just not slinging. Like that's a dark place to be in. Like it definitely knocked my confidence. It definitely made me doubt myself. It definitely made me feel like an absolute loser. I think that is a man's worst nightmare, to actually go through that. But what I learned, I've done a lot of research on this topic. I actually think I'm a qualified person to just like help guys through this. Like it's something that I've experienced firsthand, and like I've done pretty much everything to actually overcome this. But one of the things that I learned was connection equals erection, right? Connection equals erection. It's like I was at one point in my life following so much of this red pill garbage dogma. Like, oh, to be a high value man, you need to have multiple wives. You need to sleep with lots and lots of women. You need to have a body count over like 1,000. Otherwise, you're not a high value man, whether garbage is being spouted. And I remember trying to, I don't like to use the word perform, but just so we know what we're talking about. I remember trying to perform with like multiple sexual partners, and it's just like wasn't working. And I realized the reason it wasn't working was because I didn't even like these women. I didn't even have a connection with them, right? And my girlfriend out here, it's like we've got such a cosmic connection. I think evidence has got the loudest voice. Like we were just lying in this phantasmagorium of pleasure. I'm just lying on top of her, not even doing anything apart from whispering into her ear. And then she just has this full body shaking orgasm. So then comes to my turn, and she starts doing things to me. And then all of a sudden, like I can like feel myself like getting ready, you know, to fucking climax. And oh my God, dude, like I've never had an orgasm like that in my life. Like it's actually the sort of stuff that you expect to in movies. You know, like, you know, I think, you know, it's like when I lose my virginity, it's gonna be like fucking rainbows popping all over me. That actually happened to me like yesterday. Like I was releasing, like I was releasing, and then the whole world just went pink. Like in my head, I was like living in fucking Fantasia, and like I was like seeing all these different like fucking Aztec symbols and shit. I appreciate if you completely use these live streams, you're probably thinking, who the fuck's this maniac? What have I clicked on here? I just wanted to look call approach, bro. But I just like to use this like these live streams. It's like kind of like therapeutic for me. But anyway, I like almost like just saw the matrix of the universe in my mind, and like I could see like clouds and rainbows, and it's like for whatever reason, like I felt God spoke to me in that moment, and he was like, your semen is so powerful, like your semen can literally create life. Like that is what you've got inside of you, Kristian, and one day you're actually going to give birth to life. And it was like, I don't really know how else to interpret that, but I was like, this is just fucking crazy. And then we were lying in bed together this morning, and the same thing happened again. Not to me, but to my girlfriend. And like purely just having this like full body orgasm, purely just from me speaking to her in her ear. And it's like dude, I should fucking make a course about this. Do you know what I mean? Like fucking full body orgasms from just words alone. Someone will have to leave in the comments what I should call it. I'm not gonna make a. If I do make a course, it'd be free anyway. I don't believe in charging money for courses. I think information should be free. I think implementation is what you should charge money for. But like, just like the moments that we had last night, it was probably one of the best nights, if not the best night of my life. Because at one point I thought I was gonna die. Then I saw the universe. Then I saw fucking pink elephants. Then she had a full body orgasm twice just through me speaking to her. And like just going from all those different extremes to one time thinking I'm actually gonna die to then enjoying this like extreme pleasure, dude, it was just mad. And also like at one point in the night, I actually got to see like multiple universes happening. I know this, dude, I know all this sounds crazy, but I'm a practical man and I like practical solutions. Like I exist in the material world, but I don't just exist in the material world. Like, after last night, I realized that there's so much shit going on. Like at one point, I was having like 5 different conversations with the same person. I was like, oh wow. So I wonder if the actions that I take, it's like, you know, you get to the fork in the road. If I decide to go left, is there an alternative universe where I go right? It's like the fuck, like what is going on here? But I feel like a new person today. Like I genuinely feel like a new person. I feel as though I can achieve anything that I want to achieve. Like last month, I turned over $40,000, right? So I'm a practical man. I like practical solutions. Like, dude, if you want to learn how to make money, if you want to learn how to cold approach, if you want to learn how to fucking give these body shaking orgasms just from your voice, you know, this is the shit that I do, man. Like, this is the stuff. Yeah, this is this is where it's at. But yeah, it's just mad, man. Like, it's just actually fucking crazy. I'm like, oh my god. So what I thought I would do for you boys in this stream, I actually just got a voice message from one of our Entourage members, and he was asking me questions about escalation, like how to actually start sexualizing your conversations, how to start, I think, just having more of that sexual edge, because he's been going on dates, which is great, but he's been struggling with actually escalating, I think being seen as a sexual option. I think he's experiencing something that I experienced when I first started all this stuff 4 years ago, where conversations felt perpetually platonic, giving off more of those gay best friend vibes. You just want to add a little bit of spice into your seduction. So I get that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the second half of this live stream, and I'm just going to share things which have helped me accelerate my growth in the bedroom, just feel like more like the guy, develop that rock star confidence where you just feel good about stuff. And yeah, I'm just going to pre-frame this with I literally used to have erectile dysfunction. Like I literally used to bring girls back to my bedroom, and I was like, oh well, maybe I've drunk too much alcohol. I had like fucking 1 cocktail. So like I've been through all that, and I think it just demonstrates to me the character development and the personal growth where I'm actually able to just come onto a live stream, that pun was intended, and just be very transparent about it. It's like, hey dude, yeah, like I'm not going to try and paint myself as this paragon of perfection. Like I used to suck. I used to suck with women, with money, with social skills, but I just had this desire to improve. So okay, let's talk how to be like a fucking sexual weapon. So I think in regards to, let's just talk about the actual erectile dysfunction. Because I guarantee there's a lot of guys who struggle with this, but there's like very few actually want to talk about it publicly, especially on a live stream when there's people watching. Like, I mean, I'm too far gone to give a fuck. I was literally jizzing elephants yesterday, so it's all good, man. Reject the need for guarantee. That's the best advice I can give you. Reject the need for guarantee. The reason why I was struggling to get erections with girls back in the day, not just because I didn't feel as though I had a connection with these girls, but because I was terrified of losing value in the eyes of women, right? So I wanted things to go a certain way. And it was this addiction to a certain outcome. That's right. It was this addiction to a certain outcome, which castrated me of my confidence. So when it comes to being intimate with a woman, and this also applies to anything that we do in life, like it's all connected. I always say to you boys, this goes deeper than day game. It's not just about talking to girls, it's who you become through the process of talking to girls and putting yourself through the social fire, living a life free from bullshit. It is all connected. Rejecting the need for guarantee, right? Rejecting the need for guarantees. What this means is you need to be comfortable with quote unquote losing. You need to have made peace with the worst case scenario. You need to be at peace with making yourself so viciously uncomfortable. And what that means is when I was going through this, it was, I'm on this date with a girl. I'm probably going to take her back. I have to make peace with the fact that my penis just might not work tonight. And I need to be able to marinate in that moment. I need to spend that time under tension. Because like that was my mindset. I was like, dude, I don't want to go through the rest of my life just being this absolute fucking porn addict who can't get it up. Every single year that goes by, nothing changes because nothing changes. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this handled. And I've done that with everything. And this is why I believe, rather than saying I want, right? Rather than saying I want to become the best that she's ever had or whatever egoic pursuit you want to fulfill, rather than being like, I want to become the best that she's ever had, or I want to become rich, or I want to become amazing at cold approach, it's I commit, right? I commit to becoming a woman's ultimate fantasy. I commit to becoming the best she's ever had. I commit to becoming wealthy. I commit to becoming an absolute savage with cold approach. Like when we go from I want to I commit, then we can actually take the necessary actions. And what I commit underscores is an insatiable appetite. What that says to me is I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to get this side of my life handled. This is the energy that I move with, and this is the energy that the guys in my network, the Entourage, like the guys who are in my inner circle, the guys who actually get access to me and access to the rest of our community, this is the energy that we lead with. It's I commit, right? I commit, I commit, I commit, yeah? Once you commit to something, it's like sink or swim. Yeah, it's like you're either going to make it or you're not. But it's like dude, there's loads of people who want things, but most of them never get it because I want is just not strong enough. Like, oh, it's like I want to make $1 million. Well, cool story, bro. I commit to becoming a multi-millionaire. Great. Now actions need to match ambitions. So that's what I did when I wanted to overcome this season of my life. It was I commit to do whatever it takes to get this side of my life handled. And that was about making myself viciously uncomfortable, like taking girls back, like it not working, being okay with that, not making a big deal out of it. Remember, she's your mirror. She feels what you feel. The worst thing that I could do if my dick didn't work was start getting like all apologetic, be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, this usually works. Dude, that's the worst thing you can say to a girl. Oh, it usually works, just doesn't work with you. She don't want to hear that shit. And yeah, look, understand that you've got more to your sexual artillery than just your penis. But that advice never really used to help me because I'm like, yeah, I get that, but that kind of felt like cope. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I can still do stuff with my hands and my tongue, but I was like, well, she's not really fantasizing about that. She's fantasizing about, the other stuff. So it was just a process. It was a case of trial and error. It was finding the right partner, like finding somebody who like matched my personal needs, who made me feel confident in myself. Like fucking compliments go a long way. I think guys don't like to admit this in relationships, but I think we all want to feel important, right? Women want to feel beautiful. Men want to feel powerful. Everybody wants to feel important. So I think finding the right partner is really important. It's like, dude, just because you're going on dates, just because you found a few girls who kind of like you, it doesn't mean that you have to jump into bed with every single one of them. Like if you really want to be this fucking high value man, then it's having that abundance mindset. It's like being on a date with a girl and asking yourself, truly, do you actually like this person? Because erection, for me anyway, like this is just me. This is just personal advice. Like I might know nothing. Like none of this stuff might actually apply to you. This is just like what I've done, what's worked for me, and hopefully works for you as well. But for me, erection, like connection is erection. I want to find a woman who I really have that cosmic connection with. And that's what I found out here in Bangkok. I found a woman and we just have like the best sex ever. Like I've never had that before. I've never had a woman have a full body orgasm with me purely just from my voice alone. Like there is something truly sublime and divine about that. So the way you start is not the way that you finish. I used to be this porn addict with erectile dysfunction. If you'd have said to me 4 or 5 years ago that one day you're going to be in bed with a beautiful girl who loves you, who adores you, who is committed to you and only you, and you're going to be giving her full body orgasms purely from your voice alone, I don't think I would have believed you. I'd have been like, oh yeah, that sounds cool in fantasy. But without that experience last night, I think what it really demonstrated is we actually are more capable than we realize. But it's like we've already got it all inside of us, and that's why I believe this process that I'm embarking upon, and hopefully you're embarking upon as well, it's not learning anything new, but it's unlearning and then relearning that which we already know. Do Does that make sense? 'Cause it's like we've already got it all inside of us. And I think this process of unlearning, that's the life's mission. It's, whoa, where am I? That's how I go from Gloucester. Where am I? My trotter, get my cider. Like, where am I holding myself back? Like, where am I playing it safe? Where am I going? Where am I operating from I want to I commit? But yeah, making myself viciously uncomfortable, that really helped me. Finding the right partners, finding someone I actually liked as a person. And I think that not following mainstream advice, because that's all it is. All the stuff that you're consuming online, this live stream, whatever other videos you're consuming, it's just advice. It's just that. Like, there's no rules to any of this stuff. Like, we get to write our own rules. We are the architects of our own lives. So I think just finding the right women, like finding the women who actually do it for you. I think that's why location is so important. Like, the women who I was having erection problems with, like, no disrespect to any girl who lives in Leeds, but, you know, I've solo traveled now to over 30 countries. I now decide to position myself in the environments where I'm valued, where I'm loved, where I'm respected, where I find the women attractive, where I like the weather, where I like the culture, where I like the way of life, where I just feel complete in myself, because I think internal state equals external reality. So the better that I feel within, the more joy I can experience without, if that makes sense. I think for me, feeling that sense of wholeness, it comes down to lifestyle, it comes down to fitness, so me being in really good shape, it comes down to finances, so constantly improving, constantly making sure that I'm fulfilling my potential, and just looking after myself, being in a good place mentally, doing great work, creating these videos, showing up every single day, even if I do sound like a raving lunatic. Like, I feel as though there is tremendous amounts of value in these unfiltered, unedited live streams. Just one human being going through life, desperate to be accepted, desperate to, I think, receive love and receive validation, and just to know that I'm doing a good job. It was actually fucking deep as shit, man. This is the part of the experience I had yesterday, which I actually wasn't planning on speaking about, but it actually came up during this fanfare of fantasy and pleasure. I actually realized for the first time that I've got these serious abandonment issues. Like, that came up yesterday because, for anybody who doesn't know, my mum and dad got divorced when I was 5 years old. I've never really thought too much about it. I've always just thought, oh, well, that was just kind of normal for me. Like, I grew up in a single parent household for most of my life. My mum was working multiple jobs just so she could afford us. I didn't have any friends growing up. I always had severe social anxiety. I didn't have that masculine role model. And every time I look back at my childhood, I kind of just like, the adult version of me has almost just dismissed it. But what I realized yesterday, and this just hit me like a train, and I was like, you know what, Kristian? The adult version of you can deal with that, but the 5-year-old version of you couldn't deal with that. Like, I just remember, I've got this vivid picture in my mind of like being in our old living room. I was playing with my fucking train set, and I remember my mum, like, over my shoulder, and she just said to me, oh, Kristian, by the way, your dad is not going to be living with us anymore. And then I think we had a little conversation, but I don't remember. And I just went on playing with my trains. But like, that 5-year-old version of me, I didn't realize like what actually had been inflicted onto him, because Freud said what did Freud say? The parent is developed to protect the child, or the adult is developed to protect the child. So it's like I've been carrying that 5-year-old version of me who was wounded, who was hurt, who was whatever he was. And it's like, it just makes sense to me now why I am the way that I am, where it's like this obsession with progression, like wanting to just smash it in every fucking area, just like change people's lives, just say to people, hey bro, listen, I know you feel as though you're fucked up right now. I know you feel as though like the world doesn't care about you. I know you feel as though you're never going to receive love or approval or admiration. So it's like that, the whole thing yesterday, like aside from the fucking sex, apart from like jizzing elephants, that experience was handed to me yesterday, I believe, by God to illuminate my why, right? It's like Nietzsche said, he who has a strong enough why can bear any how. And now when I work with my guys one-on-one, now when people apply to work with me, it's like I see that former version of myself in my clients. And it's like, hey bro, listen, I've got you. All right, we're going to do this together. Like, I know that you're hurting right now. I know you feel as though it's game over for you. I know you've experienced stuff in your childhood that maybe you've not even made peace with, or maybe you've not even faced, or maybe you buried it so deep that it's crazy. That experience that I had yesterday, it made the subconscious conscious, finally, for the first time ever. I remember waking up today, my girlfriend, I just felt free. Like, I just felt truly free, that I've not felt that sense of freedom in a long time. And it's like, you don't know what you don't know. You can't see what you can't see. And it's like, that experience for me yesterday, it really demonstrated to me that, shit, there are things going on beneath the surface that explain a lot of my character, explain a lot about having this incessant need to want to prove myself to the world. I think, like, you know, stacking money and stacking achievements and stacking success, it's like, I think it's all done in an attempt to pacify that former version of me who felt as though he wasn't enough, and probably felt as though he was the reason why his parents got divorced. Like, one minute dad's here, next minute dad isn't. Now mum's really stressed. Mum's struggling to make money, so money must be difficult to come by. So I had those self-limiting beliefs regarding money. And it's like, the work that I've done to get to the place that I've got to, and yes, this is me just blowing my own trumpet for the next 60 seconds. Like, dude, I am so proud of who I've actually become. Like, all of the vicissitudes, all the trials and tribulations, it's like, all of this has happened for me rather than happened to me. It's like, you know, going through the divorce as a child, not having any friends growing up, not really understanding how social connections were made, spending a decade of my life being a magician, going through this whole erectile dysfunction saga, starting this cold approach business, doing YouTube, doing social media, learn how to scale a business to $40,000 fucking dollars a month. I'm like, whoa, Kristian, you're a fucking legend, man. You're a fucking legend, and I love you so much. And it's just mad. It's like, I've never really appreciated myself in that way before. So is there any lessons that you can take from that? Yeah, probably. It's probably that you are actually capable more than you realize. I think it's the people that you surround yourself with. It's the habits. It's the thoughts that you hold. It's going from I want to I commit. Understanding that it's not who you are today, it's who you want to become. It's metaphorically crucifying this current version of ourselves and then investing into the identity of the person who you want to be. Actions need to match ambitions, though. That's, I think, if there's one superpower that has got me to where I've got to today, it's just taking a shitload of action, doing what terrifies me, understanding belief follows action and not the other way around. Belief follows action. The reps are the reward. Do what terrifies me. Make myself viciously uncomfortable. Someone tells me I can't do it. I can do it. When I first started making these videos, people were telling me, oh, you're ugly. You're 4 out of 10 at best. You're physically disadvantaged. It's like, yeah, cool. That's fuel. Thank you. I appreciate it. Obstacles. No obstacles. Just opportunities to grow. So that's fucking cool. Oh, it was like big lightning strike when I was saying that. That means an epiphanova has been had by someone out there in the world. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this live stream so far, do us a favor, just drop it a like. I mean, you don't have to, but apparently it helps me. I think on the YouTube algorithm, YouTube likes, so fuck it, might as well. So yeah, hopefully that's been valuable so far. Let's just keep talking, because I think this is just a nice Saturday chill session. What should we talk about now? Oh yeah, let's talk about how to just, like, I think, just becoming more, like, taking your conversations with the feminine from social to seductive, like how I was able to do that. I do think one of the most important mantras that I say is, it's not what you say, it's not how you say it, it's who you are when you say it. This is probably the most important thing that I can teach her. Well, one of the most important things. I probably said that about a lot of things, but this is actually super important. It's not what you say, it's not how you say it, it's who you are when you say it, right? Identity. So I think that in order to be that guy who can just arouse women without saying a word, who can make attracting women feel as effortless as drinking water, the guy who becomes a woman's fantasy, it's like creating, this is what I would recommend that you do. You create a personal renaissance document and you refer to yourself in the third person as though you've already achieved those things. If you don't know how to do this, get my free course. I've linked it below. It's called My Most Fuckable Man course. And that teaches you how to actually become the version of you who can achieve these things. But let me give you some practical things, because that's quite like meta and like out there. But it's actually probably the most important thing that you can do is actually just like write down your ideal reality, like who you are, like who you want to become, and then what do you need to do to get there. Then acting as if you already are that person. Actions match ambitions. But yeah, I mean, turning conversations from social to seductive. I think first of all, recognizing that women are sexual creatures. We're all born from sex. biology is deeper than geography. And when you're cold approaching women, you really are speaking to their biology. It's like, me man, you woman, and I like that. Recognizing that women are sexual beings. I think this is one of the most critical epiphanovas that I had, and I had this by reading My Secret Garden by Nancy Friday. I recommend this book to my clients. My Secret Garden by Nancy Friday. In this book, you get anecdotes from women, housewives in 1960s America, and they write into this anonymous agony aunt to express their deepest fantasies because they can't share these fantasies with their friends. They feel weird about it. It's 1960s America. So it's like, there's not like fucking internet forums where they can all like chat and, get on fucking Discord. So they have to write into this anonymous agony aunt. And like, if you read that book, My Secret Garden by Nancy Friday, it will completely shatter your worldview of women, but in a good way, Like, I just get pissed off online with all of this like anti-women dogma. You've got fucking bozos who are like doing podcasts, just like dissing women. It's like, dude, like that's not the way that we move. It's like, we need women. Women are my muse, women are my inspiration. I wouldn't have got to where I am today if it hadn't have been for women. It's like, I believe in the sacred communion between the masculine and the feminine. Yeah, like, not every woman is going to find me attractive. Not every woman is going to want to fuck with me. And that's okay. Just because I don't get some doesn't mean that I won't get any. And the more that I level myself up and become the version of me that I need to be, the more access I'm going to have to these women. Yeah, I don't believe in the one, but I do believe in soulmates. I believe there are women who've been put on this earth specifically for me. And it's my job to become the man who's ready to receive the love from these women. Does that make sense? Fuck yes. My Secret Garden by Nancy Friday, it will just completely shatter your worldview of women. You'll actually get to see what women are thinking about, what women are fantasizing about. And it's like, I think being able to operate from this place where it's like, you've got to peek behind the curtain and be like, oh wow, so women think about this. They're not these innocent special snowflakes that I need to tiptoe around and do little play dances for. That was really powerful. And that's something that anybody can do. Like, you can probably get the audiobook somewhere and just listen to it. You don't have to read the whole book. Just read some of the stories. And it's like, just having this knowledge that women are thinking about sex, they're craving sex. Look at 50 Shades of Grey, best-selling book of the past decade. There's a reason for that. It's because women are craving this dominant masculine figure who can just take them on this adventure, who can have these crazy moments with them. But it's like, I think guys get confused because they think that they need to become this like tyrannical dictator. Oh, it's my way or the highway. I'm a high value man. Whatever fucking bollocks people are spitting. But for me, it's like, it's mixing both energies because we're born from the masculine and the feminine. So I think what I would say now at 27 years old is my biggest sexual superpower, apart from my fucking gravitas voice, is being able to dance in both energies. I think most men are either one or the other. But it's like, I'm in touch with my feminine nature in the best way possible. It's like, guys will be like online, oh, I'm an alpha, I'm a high value man. It's like, well, if you're that alpha, then why are you so scared of your emotions, bro? It's like, I cried yesterday. I cried with my fucking girlfriend. If you listen to guys online, they'll be like, oh, never do that, never show emotion, never show weakness. She's gonna lose you, she's gonna leave you, bro. She's gonna monkey branch. I don't think she is. I don't think she's gonna fucking go anywhere. Not when I can do that. But it's like, there's just so many moronic commentators. I think being able to dance in both energies, the light and the dark, the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine. So it's like, I can be caring, I can be nurturing, I can be there for my woman when she needs me, like emotional support. I can let loose, I can be in touch with my fucking emotions. I can cry with my friends, I can cry with my girlfriend, I can cry with my fucking mum. It's like, I think that's true transcendence. It's like, I'm going to do what I do because it makes me feel good as a man. Yeah, I think that's really what women are craving. They're craving a guy who likes himself, who wants to be himself, who's the main character of his own movie and can dance in both of those energies. So it's like, but you don't just want to be that, otherwise you come across as a fucking wet wipe. So it's like having the balance there. So the dominance, the leadership, the assertiveness, the ability to take charge, to lead her on adventures that she's going to enjoy. That's like the yin and the yang. It's like the light and the dark energy. Before last night, we were actually at a restaurant and I paid a little bit extra money so we could sit by the window because I was like, oh, that'll be romantic. There was an option there, so I selected it. We got to the restaurant the service was terrible and we didn't get a window seat. And I said to the guy, listen, dude, we paid for the window seat. Why are we being sat on this table? This was the way that I said it as well. I was like, why are we being sat here when we paid for a window seat? And he tried to absolutely just like bullshit me. It was like, oh, well, just because you pay for a window seat doesn't mean that you're guaranteed a window seat. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, if I pay for a window seat, I should get a window seat. That's like me paying for a BMW and then getting a fucking Toyota. It's like, you get what you pay for. And he didn't have an answer for me. So I was like, fuck this, we're leaving, right? So I literally get up, I take my girl with me, and we go to the elevator. And then the staff come scrambling after us. I'm like, oh, like, we're really sorry. There was a mistake on the system. So let us take you to this other table instead. Anyway, we got 10 out of 10 service. We got complimentary drinks. We got free shit. We got sat by the window. Like just like the full works. All because I had the emotional bravery to complain, to speak my truth, to follow my bliss, to be able to say, listen, I've got standards and I'm not prepared to be fucked around. Dude, she absolutely loves this stuff. Like, she wants to know she's with a guy who can take charge because it projects your proclivity as a protector. A former version of me would have just gone to that restaurant and just done what he was told, like another one of the mind-dead masses who just sleepwalking his way through life, accepting his lot in life. Oh, well, my childhood was difficult. I was born here. I didn't have a masculine role model. That's how the majority of people are living today. Mind-dead victims who just want to cry and complain. Like, I can give you 1,000,001 reasons why I couldn't make something of myself, but I don't choose to do that. Instead, I choose to err on the side of optimism. If you look at that word confidence, it's confidence. So con means with, fidence or fidence, whatever it is, it means faith. So with faith, right? Having faith in yourself. That's what confidence is. It's optimism in the absence of certainty. So now, throw me in hell, I'll find a way to enjoy it. If I'm in a restaurant and things not going that well, I know how to handle it. If I'm in a cold approach conversation and shit starts to go sideways, I can handle it. If I solo travel to a new place, I can handle it. No matter what, I can handle it. So in that situation there, it is the way you do anything, it's the way you do everything. I'm not prepared to take any shit. I'm not prepared to be pushed around. I'm not prepared to be a people-pleasing pussy who accepts what the world is giving to him. So I'm like, fuck this, we're leaving. And then we got 10 out of 10 service. My girl's getting super turned on because she knows she's with a guy who can look after her. That happened to us one time before, like 4 or 5 months ago, where the food was taking a long time to come. I complained. I was like, listen, this service is terrible. We'll pay for what we've had. The rest of it, you can leave it. And then she's like, I'm so turned on right now because this is what it is. Yeah. It's like, if you want to, it's not just like making your cold approach conversations more seductive. It's about becoming seductive. It's about making seduction something we are rather than something that we do. And that is achieved by understanding that everything is connected. Like the way that I show up in the restaurant is the way that I show up in the bedroom. Now, it's not always been that way, right? This is just a lifetime of learning, which I'm doing my best to condense in these live streams. It's all connected. That's like the best way that I can really say it. Like if you live it, then you know what I'm saying. But if you're still new to this, then this might be quite heavy for you. So maybe just download my free courses, watch more of my introductory stuff. Like the live streams are more of my opportunity to go really deep with this stuff because I enjoy talking about these topics. It's like, oh, Kristian, like, what's the best open? Oh, Kristian, what do I say if she's got a boyfriend? Oh, Kristian, I texted this girl and she didn't respond to me. It's like, I appreciate that. I've got empathy for guys who are just starting, but it's like those questions are so basic. It's like the quality of your life is dependent on the quality of your questions. So rather than being like, what do I text a girl who stops responding to me? It's, how can I become irreplaceable? How can I become the most fuckable version of myself? How can I become a woman's ultimate fantasy? It's like when you're operating on the top of the totem pole, all these little insignificant blobs, they don't really matter that much anymore. And the same thing was there when I was going through my whole erectile dysfunction saga. I remember thinking long term with it. I was like, right, I'm going to put the reps in here. Like the like 23, 24-year-old version of me. I was like, I'm just going to make myself as viciously uncomfortable as possible. I'm going to give myself permission to lose. I'm going to give myself permission to be forgettable. I'm going to give myself permission to be a disappointment. I'm going to give myself permission to not receive love from the feminine, to take a girl back and for it to go terrible. Just being able to let go and lean in to that discomfort. Like, those investments that I make, they're paying off now. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, I think I think the best thing that I got from last night was just understanding like how far I've actually come as a person, as a leader, as a masculine role model. And I understand that I've still got a long way to go. I've still got a long way to go in the money game, in what else, the lifestyle game, fuck knows. But I don't know, man. I just big lightning strike. I just feel blessed. I feel truly happy. Just being able to make these live streams for you boys, just distill some information, just like, yo, have the craziest night of my life. All these things happened. Embrace my own mortality. Give my girl a full body orgasm just with my voice. Felt as though I was gonna die. Fucking unleashing some very past like trauma inside of me. I think that's probably down to like the way that I showed up in the bedroom. I think just that desire to receive love from the feminine. It's like because I had like a shaky relationship with my mum, I think I was trying to find salvation in the feminine during my early days. Do you know what I mean? So I was kind of like looking for women to complete me. So I was like, oh, I need to be really good at this. I need to rock her world. I need to make her like me just by being good at sex. Do you know what I mean? But it's just coming from this place of insecurity. It's coming from this place of performance, where it's like, for me now, great sex is where both people take responsibility for their own pleasure. I think the best sex, I learned this from Zamperion, is the best sex is not where you're trying to be some bedroom technician, where it's like, oh, I need to touch her here, I need to do this, or say this at the right time, now I need to transition from A to B to C. It's like, the best sex is where you experience pleasure through your woman. It's like the best sex is where you experience pleasure through her body, through her mind. And it's like, wow, that's actually next level. And that's what I experienced yesterday. It's like we're both in this like this bubble of love. So it's safe, it's warm, it's nourishing, and it's like we're both there for one another. But like I'm not in my head thinking, does she like this? Am I being good right now? Whatever. It's like I'm going to do what I do because it pleases me to do so. And by me operating from this place of wholeness, I know that she's going to love it as well. Does that make sense? Let me just give you some practical things to end with, because I know that a lot of this has been meta. So let me just give you some like really practical things, how anybody can take their conversation with women from social to seductive. I think first of all, make sure that you speak slow. Yeah, speak slow. Every guy that I've ever worked with, no exceptions, they always speak way too fast. And for me, the escalation is already happening within that first interaction. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you're somebody who is going on a lot of dates, but you find that the dates lack sexual tension or they're not really going anywhere, it's like the date has already happened before you've gone on the date. Like the way that you show up, the way that you look at her during that initial conversation, the fantasies that she creates in her mind after you've approached her, it's like it's already there from the get-go. So if you're on your dates and there's no vibe there, then maybe there just wasn't a vibe to begin with. Like I had a question from one of our guys in the Entourage. He's like, I'm kind of struggling with the maybe girls, like the girls who are kind of on the fence, kind of difficult to escalate with them because I'm not quite sure if they're into it. It's like forget about the maybe girls. I think this is actually one of the biggest flaws that I've ever heard about with this whole like game. Like a lot of mind dead morons online seem to think that having great game is about converting maybe girls into yes girls. And for me, that's just the most moronic mindset I've ever heard of. It's like in business, a bad client can never become a good client. I only want to work with people who are 1,000,000% committed to me and to themselves. I don't want maybe people. I don't want guys who are applying to become part of my network, the Entourage, and work with me personally, who are like, oh, well, maybe I'll think about it. Maybe I'll join in 6 months' time. Like, fuck that shit. It's not like, what do you mean think about? There's nothing to think about. You're on a fucking sales call, bro. Like, you know what the deal is here. So it's like, this whole like maybe girls to yes girls. It's like, I'm going out to find my fuck yeses in the same way with business and with relationships. It's like, is this a fuck yes or is this a fuck no? Like, stop wasting your time with women who don't give a fuck about you. Stop wasting your time on the maybe girls. I think the best sex, the best relationships, and the best connections you're ever going to make are with those girls who just like you for you. And I think the important distinction about this here is you might not be the version of yourself at the moment who's ready to receive these women, right? I think we accept the love that, or we receive the love that we're ready to receive. So like I was saying before about like the notion of soulmate. Like 4 years ago, I would not have been in the position where I was ready to receive my current girlfriend because I still had a long way to go. I still need to put myself through the social fire. I still need to become fluent in the language of the feminine. I still need to overcome my own personal struggles. I still need to improve my fitness, my fashion, my finances. So it's like there are women who have been put on this earth specifically for us, and it's part of our masculine journey to become the man who's ready to receive these women. Yeah. So yeah, I think just thinking long term rather than just being another one of those guys who's looking for these like quick term lays, quick term notches. And it's like, I don't subscribe to any of that bullshit because it's like you're always chasing the dragon, you're always chasing the next fucking notch, and it's just an empty existence. All this like multiple wives and multiple relationships, I just don't subscribe to it. I'm just like, for me, the only reason why guys subscribe to this multiple relationships is because they're terrified of going all in with one woman. They're terrified of giving their all to a woman, and at some point her being like, soz mate, no thank you. Like, it's easy to just have these multiple frivolous relationships because you get the sex but you don't have the emotions that come with them. But see, for me, relationships are the ultimate self-improvement exercise. Like, being in a relationship with an amazing woman, it's like having a mirror held up to you 24/7. Yeah, it's like when I've got somebody else who's depending on me, like when I've got someone else to be responsible for, it's like having a child in a way. I'm not comparing women to children, but just that analogy is useful. It's like I've got someone who is depending on me, right? So it's like there's no time to slack off. There's no time to fuck up. I need to continue being the man who she fell in love with, right? So it's like I think most people lose themselves in relationships. Most people are focused on attention rather than retention. It's one thing getting a woman. It's another thing entirely keeping a woman. This is why that inner work is so important. That's why I put that free course together. It's such a great course. My Most Fuckable Man course is completely free. If you haven't downloaded it, do it. That is going to give you like 15 years of inner game work. And I've condensed it into a course, especially the mindset mastery section. That's basically the only section of that course that you need. It'll take you about 30 minutes to get through it. Unreal. And that's just going to help you. Like everything that I've done, I've laid it out in that blueprint. It's just going to change. It genuinely will change your life. Genuinely, because it's changed my life. It's changed the lives of the guys that I work with. A lot of guys who become members of the Entourage, they download the free courses first. And they're like, fuck me, this guy's actually on something. This guy, not like on something, but like, this guy's actually tapped into some free and from bullshit frequency. This guy's riding on godly frequency. Like, fucking hell, he's actually done the inner work. So, yeah, I think that's important. It's just becoming that version of you who's ready to receive the women. And yeah, relationships, bro. Relationships, they really are the ultimate self-improvement exercise. It is like having a mirror held up to you 24/7. And there's nowhere to hide. You know what I mean? It's like all your insecurities, all your doubts. It's like you can't continue being that stone cold alpha player for the rest of your life. At some point, the mask is going to slip. At some point, she's going to find out who you really are. So I think that was a big reason for me just going like full transparency on these live streams, like just being able to come onto a live stream, because I've been doing a live stream every single day of the year, just being able to like go onto a live stream being like, hey dude, I used to be a porn addict, I used to have erectile dysfunction, I used to look like a turnip, I used to dress like a moron, I used to live in a grotty apartment that was infected by cockroaches, I used to have £24.82 of universal credit in my bank account, I used to hate myself, I used to work a job that I hated in a city that I despised. I used to be a low-life loser who didn't have any value to offer the world. And it's like, just by being able to be fully transparent, it's like, I can move through the world now and just lead with pure, unfiltered authenticity. It's like, this is me. I know who I am. I know what I want. I know what I value. I know what I believe in. If people don't like me, fuck them. Like, I'm way too far gone to actually give a flying fuck anymore. And it's not happened by luck, it's happened by design, right? It's like belief does follow action. Like just the reps that I put in, a decade of magician, like doing the fucking cold approach thing, building a YouTube channel, scaling this business, solo traveling to over 30 countries, just all the things that I'm doing, it's just this amalgamation of achievements have enabled me to actually get to this place at 27 years old. And I feel as though I'm so far ahead of the curve, you know? I'm only just getting started. Sounding suspicious. I'm only just getting started. Any other things that you can do to just like quickly seductify your conversation? But yeah, speaking slowly, making eye contact, marinate in the moment, read My Secret Garden, be tapped into that frequency where women, they're thinking about sex, they're craving sex, they're reading 50 Shades, they might or might not have read My Secret Garden by Nancy Friday, but like that, this is what they're thinking about. Yeah. So just by being aware of this, it's already going to separate you from 99% of guys who just going around thinking, oh, does she want me to kiss her now? It's like the whole thing. Like if you think you could, if you think you can kiss her, you could have kissed her 10 minutes ago. But it's a process as well. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're not going to be some like fucking Lothario overnight. But yeah, speaking slower, I think spending more time around more women more often. That might be just going to dance classes. I find a lot of the guys who get into this cold approach space, they severely lack experience with women. I don't just mean sexual experience, but just experience like being around women in general. Like it's okay to have female friends. I think that's what more guys should do. Just go to like dance classes like bachata, kazumba, go to improv classes, make friends with some of the girls there. Like if you're super low on confidence right now, just start to tell your brain that the feminine isn't to be feared. Yeah, just spending more time around more women, just appreciating women, like fucking falling in love with the feminine, understanding that we need women, this sacred communion between the masculine and the feminine. So yeah, speaking slower, reminding yourself that women are thinking about sex, they're sexual beings, they're sexual creatures, we're all created, we're all born from sex is healthy, sex is nourishing, sex is life, and it's beautiful. Yay. Yeah, spending more time with more women who you don't know more often. I think going on dates, and you don't need to go on these dates because it's like, oh, I need to pull her back on the first date, otherwise she's not going to think I'm high value, whatever the fuck people think like these days. I don't even know, man. But yeah, you can just go on dates purely to go on dates. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to try and like escalate immediately if you don't want to. You might not even like the girl on date. But I think just having more dates. It's like if I wanted to be a great swimmer, I need to spend more time in the swimming pool. If I want to become a great boxer, I spend more time in the ring. And yeah, I'm probably gonna get punched a lot, but it's like it's growing pains. So yeah, spending more time with women, speaking slower, understanding that women are craving and thinking about sex. And what else? Yeah, I mean, like when you're actually speaking with women in your cold approach conversation, just getting like a little bit closer, like that proximity. You don't want to be stood too far away. Reps. It really is. I think if you want to create more of those seductive conversations from cold approach, I think the final thing that I'll say is that it's really important to understand that when you are cold approaching women, you are speaking to their biology. Like they appreciate the audacity, even if they don't show it. Like they appreciate from a biological level a man going over to a woman in this non-needy way, declaring his desire, making her feel beautiful, desired, and sexy. I'm a man, you're a woman, I like that. It really hits them deep in their biology and they appreciate it. I think we need to understand the superpower that we've got. If you've unlocked this decentralized skill set of the awake 1%, if you can go over to a woman and declare your desire for her in a non-needy way, then that is already a fast way to sexualize your interaction. Yeah, I think permission is probably the biggest thing as well. Just having more permission that it's okay to find women attractive, rather than living like a closet heterosexual who's like scared of having a penis and apologetic about his desires. It's like just appreciating yourself, giving yourself permission. I think this is why spending time with the right people is so important. If you're trying to do all of this on your own, you are pretty much wasting your time. Like I've not been able to get to where I'm at today on my own. No fucking way. Like I've invested tens of thousands of dollars into mentorships, into communities, into coaches. I've been getting coached with Cold Approach for the past 4 years by my mentor in London, Daniel. I've got my network around me. I've got the entourage. I've got 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs around me. It's like, your network is your net worth, right? So it's like, surround yourself with winners and then you will win. That's why I put my community together. That's why I make these live streams. It's to inspire you to get out there, live a life beyond the beige. And when you're ready to skyrocket the shit to the moon, then apply to join the entourage, come and travel the world with me, get coached by me, get mentored by me, get direct access to me on WhatsApp, and just fucking do this game of life with me. It's like, there's no point just sitting there on the sidelines anymore. Like you've already got all the information. What you lack is implementation. So yeah, been a fucking good live stream that. I can't remember when we started or it's not really a topic to this one. It's kind of just been free flow. So apologies if it's been a bit all over the place or a little bit erratic. But yeah, I had the craziest night of my life last night. I learned so much about myself. I unearthed a lot of personal trauma, which I hadn't even recognized. I found out that I was capable of doing a lot more than a current version of me probably would have thought. I experienced God through a woman. I experienced God last night. Realize there's all these fucking multiple universes which are going on. Like all I know is I know nothing. It's like the more I learn, the less I know. I think that's a good way of describing it. The more I learn, the less I know. Yeah, I think, yeah, the more I learn, the less I know. It's crazy. It's like you think, or I think that I figured stuff out. I think I've got a grasp of the world, and then boom, hits you like a train. It's like, wow, I know nothing. I think that was Socrates. I think that's actually a really great way of ending this. It's like, listen, I'm just a guy spinning on this fucking crater in the universe that we call Earth. No idea how I got here. There's a 1 in 400 trillion chance of me being born. Just the sheer fact that I'm able to talk and breathe and live and just expostulate and just experience this chaotic carnival of life. Like, that is fucking true gratitude right there. I'm waking up every day in my dream. It's not always been the case. Like, if you're watching this and you just need a little bit of hope and a little bit of optimism, then I've fucking got you, man. Like, I know it's difficult. I know it is, but no one else is coming to save you. So, yeah, hopefully, if one person has got 1% of value from this live stream, then that's fucking cool. If you have enjoyed it, just drop it a like. Drop it a like. Tell the algorithm that you kind of like me. I'm going to leave it there. I hope that this has been useful. Really fucking do. Anyway, I'll speak to you guys tomorrow. Love you.